Novak, congrats. How do you assess your form today compared to the first round?
Yeah, actually it's same scoreline, so kind of similar feeling on the court of generally positive. Served better in the first match. I mean, did feel like completely two different tournaments playing at night and day to day, particularly with the wind that has been, I think, blowing this year more than any other year that I've been playing here in Australia. So, obviously have to adjust to that and adapt to a different opponent with big serve. But I mean, overall it's good. I'm pleased with the way I'm moving and hitting the ball. And yeah, look forward to the next one.
Charlie?
Novak, well done. We're seeing you, it feels like playing these days very aggressively. The serve's been really potent. Just wondered how kind of conscious that was, like, to make changes and sort of, if so, what kind of was the motivation there?
Yeah, I mean, I always try to work with purpose, and I had a longer off season, and like the off season before this one, and when I have more time, I obviously try to look at my game and different elements that I can really improve, and otherwise, what's the point? What's the point of competing and coming out and and not really trying to be better than you were the season before? So that's the kind of mentality I try to nurture, and it's been allowing me to still play at the highest level at this age. So I'm glad that it's paying off, the work that I've done in the off season. It's just the beginning of the tournament. Obviously, I haven't played any lead-up tournament, so I'm really happy that I'm able to play this way, considering the lack of competitive matches for more than 2 months. So it's all been positive so far, positive signs. But I got to keep it up, obviously.
I was talking to Ben Shelton about his YouTube channel, and I was just curious what you make of this trend of players sort of taking the narrative into their own hands and starting making their own documentaries, effectively.
I don't see anything wrong with that. I think we're living in a world of today of digital media. The communication of the brand happens pretty much only through digital and social media channels. So most of the, I guess, civilized world, people that can afford to have a mobile phone with them at all times, and this is how you want to communicate and connect with people, and that's what we have. So I guess everyone has a different opinion on and subjectively of what they think is the borderline. How much do you want to open the doors to your, not just professional but private life to people worldwide? That's very individual. So I don't judge. Everyone has their own likings, but that's the way to reach people is definitely through internet.
I just wanted to ask you about your coaching setup. I was just wondering, what does a 24-time Grand Slam champion need a coach for at this stage of his career? What do you think you can still learn about tennis? And what do you expect a coach to bring to you?
Well, I think you always need at least pair of eyes on the side of the court, if not 2 pairs or 3 pairs that know tennis and that have different expertise, and they have different angles of seeing your game and seeing your opponent's game, and that I obviously know the game of tennis very well, but very oftentimes, particularly in the competitive weeks when you are under stress and emotions are not as I would say at bay as they normally are in a non-competitive week, then you have to handle much more than just your tennis and how you hit your forehand. So I feel like the coaching team is contributing not only to observation from the side of the court of, you know, how you move, how you play, the technical stuff, the biomechanical stuff, but also, how you feel, and kind of helping you manage your emotions on day-to-day basis. So it's more than just the tennis execution of the tennis shots. There's more things that come into the equation because you're an individual athlete. So there's no substitution. There's nobody that can replace you if you having a bad day. You just have to manage all of these emotions and all the things that are happening to you on a given day that maybe you're not necessarily feeling the best, but you still have to find a way. And I think the coaching team, the physio team, fitness team is there to provide the necessary support for you to excel in your performance, and also find solutions, and during the match when, you're overwhelmed with what's happening, and sometimes you cannot think clearly, and that's why you look to your team and ask for some guidance and ask for some, observation that can be very helpful.
Last two in English, Ben and
Novak, I know you've been coming here to Melbourne for a long time, to this tournament, more than 20 years, and I'm just curious sort of what you make of the evolution of this place and the vibes of this tournament. There's been a lot of talk about they're smashing attendance records constantly, and there's also complaints on the other side that it's gotten overcrowded and it's hard to get into courts, and things have gotten maybe too corporate or too commercial on certain different sides of this tournament. So I'm wondering, from your perspective as a veteran of this place who's seen the years go by here and just lots of different tennis angles, like what you make of that sort of push-pull between excitement over growing and the idea that something's being lost by maybe being overstuffed or getting too crowded, too corporate, too commercial, too sort of profit-centric at times.
Having too much crowd on this or any other tennis tournament is a very good problem to have. I think there are much worse problems to have. So I think every tournament wants record-breaking attendance and ticket sales, and that's what I've been hearing actually this year and the last couple of years for most of the slams and tournaments. So I mean, it's a good sign. I mean, obviously we want more attention, more people coming and wanting to watch the tennis live and follow it and live stream, etc. Obviously I don't know the possibilities of further expanding the facilities or not. I'm not obviously familiar with that dynamic, but I like what I have seen as evolution of this tournament. I like when the tournament is nurturing a mindset of always wanting to improve and get better in terms of facility, providing better conditions for players to practice, play, recover, and that's what I've been seeing. I mean, first time I came over to Australia, for the juniors, 2003, I think, or something like that, 2005 for the professional event, and I remember we were using the Gym B, as it was called, which was across the road. Forgot what the name of that AFL club is, Essendon, maybe, something like that. Sorry? Collingwood, sorry, my bad. I know there's a big rivalry, so I apologize. And, so they were allowing the Australian Open to use their facilities and the bigger gym, ice baths and everything. And then obviously there was an expansion of the facilities with the National Tennis Center, with indoor courts, more practice courts, better recovery, more locker rooms, better facilities for the player dining. So all positive signs, to be honest. I think Australia has always been one of the best in that. So I don't see any negatives there. And now it's really about, how do you find balance and how do you manage the amount of people that is entering the premises, and whether I saw the other day with Alex Eala, that's been a talk, and which is understandable. There's some players coming from respective countries. Like she's coming from Philippines, which is now a big deal. You know, she's been the biggest ever, you know, tennis player from that country, which is a big country, and there's big interest. So things like that happen. I mean, it's you could argue that it was, you know, maybe a poor schedule, and maybe they could schedule him on a bigger court. Yes, but again, she's so young and she's just coming through. So. And obviously the first couple rounds, the schedule is so packed, the big courts with big names, it's difficult. It's not easy to manage that. But again, it's a good problem to have, to be honest. You know, let's just imagine if there's a lack of people coming, you know, or that stands are empty. That's a bigger problem. I mean, this is great.
WWOS is your home of the Australian Open. From highlights of the best players, every magic Aussie moment, and the best expert analysis.
We'll have every nail-biting, heartwarming and edge-of-your-seat point covered. Subscribing to Wide World of Sports on YouTube is a must for any tennis fan.